Mount Tambora Eruption. The eruption of Mount Tambora in Indonesia was the most powerful ever recorded in human history, with an explosion hundreds of times stronger than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The blast was so violent, it was heard over 1,243 miles away and directly killed around 10,000 people. However, its secondary effects were even more devastating. The volcanic ash and gases formed a veil in the atmosphere that blocked sunlight, leading to the so-called Year Without a Summer in 1816. Global temperatures dropped by up to 3 degrees Celsius, causing famine and disease that claimed over 100,000 additional lives. In Europe and North America, snowstorms in June and frosts in July destroyed harvests, spiking food prices and causing unrest. This catastrophe spurred the first systematic studies of climatology and volcanology, and today, scientists continuously monitor global volcanic activity using satellites and seismic stations. Great Shaanxi Earthquake. The deadliest earthquake in recorded history occurred in China's Shaanxi province in 1556 during the Ming Dynasty. With an estimated magnitude of 8.0, it struck a densely populated area where most people lived in cave dwellings carved into loess hillsides, a porous yellow sediment. When the ground shook, these homes instantly collapsed, burying their inhabitants. The earthquake devastated an area of 840 square kilometers and killed about 830,000 people within minutes. Entire villages disappeared underground, and fissures up to 20 meters wide opened. Aftershocks continued for months. In response, Emperor Jing ordered the first studies on earthquake-resistant construction in China, and many communities began building more flexible wooden structures instead of loess caves. The Great Chinese Famine. This catastrophe began in 1959 and lasted until 1961, marked by a series of devastating natural disasters. Extreme droughts struck vast agricultural areas, while other regions faced unprecedented flooding when the Yellow River overflowed. In addition, a locust plague destroyed vast amounts of crops across multiple provinces. These natural events, combined with the policies of the Great Leap Forward, led to the deadliest famine in recorded history, with death estimates ranging from 15 to 55 million people. Entire families died of starvation, with documented cases of cannibalism in the hardest-hit provinces. This led to reforms in China's agricultural policy and the development of advanced irrigation and flood control systems, as well as the creation of strategic grain reserves for emergencies. Krakatoa Eruption. On August 27, 1883, after months of activity, the Indonesian volcano Krakatoa erupted with a force equivalent to 13,000 Hiroshima-type atomic bombs. The explosion was so powerful, it was heard 3,000 miles away in Australia and destroyed 2/3 of Krakatoa Island. But the most devastating effect was the tsunamis it triggered, with waves up to 40 meters high that destroyed 165 coastal towns and killed more than 36,000 people. The eruption spewed so much ash into the atmosphere that the sky darkened for days within a 500-kilometer radius, and global temperatures dropped by 1.2 degrees Celsius for the next 5 years, causing crop failures in many regions. This event sparked the birth of modern volcanology and the first attempts to establish tsunami warning systems in the Pacific. Sahel Drought. Between 1968 and 1974, one of the worst droughts of the 20th century struck Africa's Sahel region, the strip of land that separates the Sahara Desert from the wetter savannas. Rainfall dropped by up to 40% for 6 consecutive years, causing the desertification of previously fertile lands. This prolonged climate disaster led to the deaths of approximately 200,000 people and affected more than 50 million, mainly through famine and disease. The drought devastated local economies based on farming and livestock, triggering massive migrations. The most affected countries were Mauritania, Mali, Chad, Niger, and Burkina Faso. This crisis led to the creation of the Permanent Interstate Committee for Drought Control in the Sahel and international climate change and desertification research programs, which have significantly improved early warning systems for droughts. Haiti Earthquake. On January 12, 2010, a 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck Haiti, with its epicenter near the capital, Port-au-Prince. Its effects were catastrophic due to multiple factors: its shallow depth of just 10 kilometers, its proximity to densely populated areas, and the poor construction quality. The quake destroyed approximately 250,000 homes and 30,000 commercial buildings, including the presidential palace and the UN headquarters. It is estimated that between 200,000 and 316,000 people died, and 1.5 million were left homeless. The The disaster completely collapsed the already fragile infrastructure of the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. As a result of this event, new seismic building codes were implemented in Haiti, and training programs for earthquake-resistant construction techniques were developed for local builders. Hurricane Mitch. In October 1998, Hurricane Mitch became one of the deadliest tropical cyclones in modern Atlantic history. Its sustained winds reached 290 kilometers per hour, but the most devastating aspect was its slow movement and the torrential rains it brought, with up to 1.5 meters of rainfall in some areas. These rains triggered catastrophic flooding and massive landslides across Central America, particularly in Honduras and Nicaragua. The disaster killed over 11,000 people and left about 2.7 million affected. The destruction was so severe that it delayed the economic development of Honduras and Nicaragua by decades. The Choluteca River completely changed its course, leaving the newly built Choluteca Bridge over dry land. This catastrophe led to the creation of the early warning system for hurricanes in Central America. Sumatra Earthquake and Tsunami. On December 26, 2004, a 9.1 magnitude undersea earthquake struck the Indian Ocean off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia. The tectonic movement lifted the seafloor by several meters, displacing more than 30 cubic kilometers of water and generating tsunami waves that reached up to 30 meters high. The devastating waves swept through the coasts of 14 countries, causing massive destruction within minutes. With approximately 230,000 deaths and millions displaced, this tsunami is remembered as one of the deadliest natural disasters in modern history. The impact was so powerful that it even shifted the Earth's axis of rotation by several centimeters. In response, the Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning System was established, with detection buoys and evacuation protocols that have since saved thousands of lives.